Are we live? Yeah, we're live. Okay, perfect. Hello, guys. Welcome back. Sorry, I'm like chewing gum. It sounds like really rude. Welcome back to the second half of the session. We are going to have a look through some of the awesome pictures that you guys took when we went to the beach. But also, I got some pictures from Linda when she went to the beach afterwards as well. So we can have a look at those. And then also, Lynn went on as part of the fitness course, went on a walk there with Rob. So we've got some pictures of that as well. So we've got plenty of pics to look at. Then after that, guys, um, we are going to have a look at some of the kit. I'll show you some of the different kit that we've got here, kicking about the office, and then maybe we can recap on that last PowerPoint. So we'll see how we get on, guys. But that is basically what we've got lined up for today. And let me know if you have any questions. Just fire away. Hello, Charlotte. Welcome back. All right, guys. So if you guys are about ready, then we are going to have a look at everyone's pictures and stuff. So let's get cracking with that then. Okie dokie. So cool. So let's switch screens, and then okay, let's have a look. And we are going to look. We'll look at Amelia's first from the beach walk. She got some really cool pictures. First of all, I'd like to just apologize, Andy. I tried to access those pictures that you sent me, but I couldn't actually get access. I did email you back, so unfortunately, I don't have your pictures, mate. But if you do grant access, maybe in the future in a staying connected session or something like that, or if we do an advanced photography taster, we'll be able to have a look back at some of those. Actually, I'll tell you what we can do, Andy. When you do grant me access, um, we can use some of those pictures for next week's newsletter, because we have a newsletter every week and we feature line of work, so we can feature some of your work in the newsletter, and hopefully that'll be an adequate consolation. All right, so cool. Let's have a little look at some of the pictures Amelia got. I had a little scan through these, and I saw there was some really cool pictures. So I'm excited to have a look through. Okie dokie. So let's have a look. I'm gonna catch up with the chat. Cool. All right. So some pictures of the boards. That's pretty cool. He sees a nice bit of frame in there. That's an interesting shot, because it's literally all the way through there. I think that's quite cool. I like that. Good little find there. So that's the thing I mentioned about Amelia and Andy as well, is that they're always kind of looking for opportunities to kind of just notice that we don't have the banner on for this. Give me 2 seconds, guys. I'm just going to go to break screen for 1 second. I'll just get a banner. Give me 1.8 seconds. Go in here, actually. Give me 1 second, guys. My apologies about this, guys. Just want to get a good banner for us to use. Okay, cracking. Right, that's the one. There we go, brilliant. I'll just put this up here. There we go, perfect. All right, awesome. Got to advertise. We are getting funded by the lottery for this course, guys, so we've got to give them some props You know what I mean? Gotta let them know. Gotta represent guys at the end of the day. That's what I'm saying. But I might make it the right size. That'll do. Okay, perfect. So yeah, thanks for sticking with me while I just sorted that out there, guys. Alrighty, cool. So we'll have a look through Amelia's pictures. Let's have a look. Okay. Cool. So we got up to here, and then let's see. This was a really nice shot. See the lighthouse through there, which obviously looks really cool. Big fan of that. Looks awesome. It's a nice bit of frame in there, which is absolutely great. And if we go here, cool. Got a nice surface divider there. We can peek Sue on the right hand side there, taking a picture. Well, Sue with a mask as well. PB obviously minding the PBE. Then this was a shot that obviously I called out to you guys. I said that this was a good opportunity. It's the leading line going onto the beach there. You can see that looks pretty cool. And you see that Amelia's gone for quite a wide shot here, including this sign in the background as well, which is nice and cool. So good job there as well, Amelia. If anybody at any point in the chat has any kind of input or anything they want to say about any of the pictures that we see, please just fire away and I'll be sure to get to them. Okay, and then we've got a nice one here as well. Obviously, I mentioned that these houses look really nice, just especially by the beach side, these little cabins, I guess you can call them. So I thought it was a great idea we get a shot of these as well. So good job, Amelia, for capturing that. You've got these nice 4 houses moving along here. Looks absolutely great. And then yeah, another nice one there of the lighthouse kind of as it warps around the beach, I guess you could say, which is great. So good stuff. This is a nice one. You know how we were talking about in the last session that we just watched about how important it is to really get low and get like next to where the action is. I mean, that's the perfect example of that now. Just getting right down, right close, getting an unusual perspective, you know. With our own eyes, we never really see from the ground, but it works well, and that leading line goes all the way down to the beach. So I think that one's really, really nice. Works really well. Just coming right from the right hand side, all the way down, you can see it kind of warps around. So that's probably my favorite one so far. I'm a big fan of this. And there you go once again, nice close to the ground. And I remember Amelia getting this is even better. This is probably the best one yet. You see we've got this nice hill here. Got that amusement, which is kind of in the rule of thirds line. Looks kind of a little bit gritty, but that's quite nice. And then this leading line coming right down there, so that's absolutely brilliant. So good job there, Amelia, for doing that. Looks really, really cool, I think. Works well. Once again, and again, slightly different angle. And then, but this we've got more of the beach in this one. This one works really well. Also, just as good. Brilliant. It's absolutely perfect. And now we've got a nice close-up shot of the lighthouse there. So great job, Amelia, for getting that in. Looks really, really cool. And then once again, we've got a nice shot there. I love this shot. It's brilliant. Of fitting in all of the houses there. So we're talking about filling up the frame. So we've got a nice, this is a nice version of filling up the frame. But then you've also got that lovely background of the lighthouse there as well. So that's a fantastic shot there. So including both the lighthouse and these cabins along the bottom. So it looks absolutely fantastic. So great job there, guys. And good shot again. Slightly cutting off the bottom left one there. I think I prefer this one. Is a little bit better, obviously, but still another great shot. Slightly different angle. And then, yeah, on the way towards the beach. Comes down, it's nice. And then another nice shot. This one, I like the angle. Obviously, I spoke about how sometimes when you take an image dead on, it can look quite flat. Obviously, this is on a slight angle, maybe like a 20-degree angle to the left. And it kind of shows these houses, and you got a nice bit of symmetry there as well. So good choice of angle there, Amelia. And I like this one as well. This one kind of leading you down towards the beach. So good job getting this one in here as well. I think this one looks pretty nice. Once again, you got the leading line coming across. Looks fantastic. And then you've got a nice bit of beach in the background as well. And then another nice shot of that leading line coming down there. And I think you can see us. I think, is that us? Yeah, it is. Just in the background. Look at that. So there's Lee. Could that be Sue? Maybe, I don't know. And you've got myself. And then you've got Andy there as well. Brilliant. Cool, yeah. It's kind of abstract. I mean, you got a nice bit of shot up of field here. Very sharp focus. And you chose to do a portrait shot. Looks quite cool. It's quite an interesting shot choice. But it looks quite crisp. You can see the way the light hits the bin. That shot up of field is nice. You were doing shadows. Ah, that's a good point. So yeah, if you look at that, the way the shadow hits the light, that's actually really good. Oh wow, yeah, it's really good. Good call there. I didn't even notice that, Amelia. Yes, you've got a nice shadow cast by the light, which is hitting the floor there. It's a good job. Well done, Amelia. Some really good shots. Got a nice shot filling up the frame once again. Some of these lovely little bits of, I guess could you say flower? Plants? Looks like a lavender plant almost. Once again, there, talking about filling up the frame. Absolutely lovely. Getting in nice and close. And capturing the plants there. So good idea there for a creative shot. Once again, get the textures of the rocks here. Looks great. Kind of captures some of that. And then once again, there we're talking about shadows. Got some really good shadows here. Obviously, I can see like the silhouettes of the frame of you and Andy, obviously, right? So that's a nice little shot as well. Quite cool, creative shot of just your shadows. So I think that looks really cool as well. Another one here, yeah, getting those nice shadows in. That looks cool. Well done. Lovely little lighthouse shot of the lighthouse here. I like this one a lot. This is really nice because you've got a nice blend of textures. You've got the beach looking good. You've got like the stand on here and the different texture there. You've got the wave coming in and the lights hitting the wave, like illuminating the sea a little bit, which looks really cool. So I think this is a nice shot. You've got these two people here, which kind of make up the picture a little bit as well. Cool. And another nice one here of some of the waves, and just you see as the tide's coming in, and then you got the birds as well. So I think that looks nice. So yeah, Charlotte's in really nice pictures so far, Amelia. I would agree as well. I would say that you can tell Amelia from the first session with us to now how much your photography's improved. I think it's loads, you know. Lee's saying agreed, lovely pics. I would definitely agree with that. I would say you've improved so much so far, Amelia. Your pictures were good at the start, but I think they've come into a whole nother level now. So well done there. Got the bird here. Nice little shot. I think if it's slightly out of focus, but if that was in focus, it would be a great shot because I know they were quite far away and it was hard to get to them without them obviously running away. So it was obviously a difficult shot to get. We've got a nice shot of the waves there, and that's a nice one, kind of all the birds on there. So I like that a lot as well. Got another good one here at the lighthouse. You went for like a central placement here, having the lighthouse in the middle with a slightly tilted angle. Nice one of the lighthouse just through there. Looks like it's kind of resting on there, like a miniature figure or something. So that's a good idea. And you've got nice shadows here coming along the bottom. Nice one of the lighthouse just through this here as well. And this is a really nice one. I like this a lot. I think this is really well framed. Who can in the chat who wants to who can tell me what they like about this picture? I think this is a really good one. There's a lot of different good things in this image. I think the timing is really good. Framing, exactly. So good shout there, Lee. That's absolutely right. If you look at the framing of the image, it's framed look beautifully. We've got this almost like a grid with these lines here, but the framing of that middle line is like a surface divider is perfect because the top of the lighthouse rests perfectly on there. So you can even see the gate of the lighthouse. And yeah, exactly. So Charlotte says she likes the little man on the side of the beach as well. I totally echo that thought. It's like you've created that grid where you've got that man on the side of the beach there, and you've got the sea, you've got the tide coming in here, and then just above that you've got the lighthouse as well. So I think that the framing on that looks absolutely fantastic. I think that's a really that's a really good shot. Fantastic shot. Cool. Got some nice kind of some of the stones as well. I see that you've gone for a bit like a leading lines there as well. The angle's quite nice, quite on a low angle. And yeah, it's good. I like that as well. Nice shot of these. This is here. You've got a good rule of thirds there, so the composition's quite nice. We've been right about there on the third there on the third line. So good composition on that one as well. They look quite creepy them actually, don't they? And then yep, another nice one there. Once again, good composition with your rule of thirds. Same again with there, but on the left hand side, obviously switching it up a little bit. We've got a cool little surface divider here. Same again, a bit experimental there. Nice shot there through the grid again, once again getting the C in. It's good to see that you're being creative, and it's like, obviously just, I know I mentioned it a bit, but like to see you guys applying the stuff that you learn, obviously it's very apparent, so I love seeing that, and I think it's really cool. Okay. Quite cool as well, getting this top bit here as well, it's pretty interesting. Some of the textures there I think are nice, and that as well, that's quite cool. Because I was wondering what that was as well, so I think that is definitely interesting. Getting that flag in as well, I think this one's a bit better compositionally. You got that nice right on the right line of your rule of thirds there. And there you go. So does that say weird side? That's quite nice. Nice shot. Quite cool once again. Nice angle placement there. It's quite a nice shot. You've got like the tide seems a bit heavier here as well, so you've got a nice bit of the tide coming in there with a shot of the people looking at the beach. This one's quite nice. And you got the trees in the background as well, so in terms of content, there's a lot going on here. And that's quite nice. And this is a good one. Nice kind of abstract shot of some of the textures in the sand. And that's really cool because I don't know if that was from like a rock art, did it, if someone else drew that or what's happened there, but I think that the textures almost look like a flower. So I think that looks really cool. So I'm a big fan of that. Or maybe it was like, oh, it's of the birds, right? Where the birds have been standing in it. So that's actually really cool. I would never have thought about that as well. So I love the idea behind that. I think the fort is really good and it's came off looking really nice. Good stuff. And this is nice as well. Just a nice frame and a nice wide shot, covering a lot of the beach. You told me about that one. That's the glove, quote unquote, right? So I remember you telling me about that one. Okay, so yeah, that was the glove. And cool, we've got some nice abstract photography here as well. It's slightly blurred, but that's fine. Once again, it's a little bit blurred, but it's okay. It's quite interesting. This one is nice. and this is pretty cool because this is like once again quite abstract, very up close, and you've got a lot, like a ton of detail in here. They look like little hands almost, don't you think? Which is pretty creepy. But yeah, getting some of that ruin and that fungus and that rot, it looks really nice. It's like quite cool. Another cool shot here. And then this one is one of the ones that I saw, which I think looks absolutely fantastic. I didn't get a chance to see this, but like this actual sculpture, but this is just such a fantastic shot. I think that the angle to get it quite straight is fantastic. I think the framing is really nice because you've got um, that person in there as well, and then you've got this bang in the middle. You've went for like a center placement, but I just think it looks really nice to get that lighthouse bang straight through there. I think that looks absolutely lovely. So well done. I'm not sure if anybody else actually got this shot, so good on you for doing that. And then this is absolutely fantastic as well. So these two are both great. This one's great to get it from there, and then this one's absolutely brilliant because you know it looks kind of like you're seeing it through a ship, and just everything in the picture looks great. You know, you've got really good placement with the lighthouse, and then you've got the action of the two people. So you've got her throwing the ball for the dog. You've managed to capture the dog in motion. This is a fantastic shot. Everything about this looks brilliant. Um, Even the way the lighthouse comes in a frame just about here. And then you've got the separation between the beach and the sea. So yeah, great, good composition, good framing, good timing. This is a really strong picture, I think. So good job there, definitely. I would, you know, you could use these pictures like for, you know, like if you start your own photography page or something like that on Instagram or on Facebook. It's definitely worth doing because this is a really strong picture. So, well done. And I don't know if I haven't uploaded these like to send to you guys yet, have I? So I'll make sure to put these on the drive in the same folder as last time, Amelia, and I'll email it to you along with Sue's pictures as well. I'll put them both separately, because yeah, definitely you should keep. It's worth keeping these, right? Because they're great. So yeah, because I just uploaded them like 10 minutes ago. So yeah, but yeah, great shot. Once again, here, nice shot, very similar with a good framing here as well with these two guys in the middle this time, more central and not to the right as they were last time. Yeah, so Charlotte's just you know echoing those thoughts. She says it's a really good shot. She loves the lighthouse in the circle and the dog with the people. So I totally agree. Yeah, I absolutely love this shot. It's great. And yeah, that's even quite a nice one there because the detail and the quality looks brilliant. So yeah, great, good there. That's quite an interesting one as well. It's more of an unusual perspective, but I still think it's really nice because that lines up perfectly with the rule of thirds. So you've got the composition great for the lighthouse. You've got not much negative space here for these guys. Or you've got tons of negative space, sorry, for these guys, which is an interesting choice. But obviously that's just the way that they were moving. But you've still got them in the frame, and I still think it looks quite cool. But it's definitely it's unusual, but I think it looks really good still. And then they're just slightly walking out there. And then once again, that's another good shot because you don't have the people, but then you've got the lighthouse just as the focal point. But once again, it still looks great, and it's good as well. I think that you know, realizing that you don't need to have the full circle in. Like I think that a lot of people who are like kind of just starting out, they would always make sure that the full circle is in the frame. You don't need to do that because we know what it is. So I think that the fact that you've even cut the bottom and the top off is absolutely fine. You can totally do that, and it'll actually give you a better composition sometimes. So I think that that's what's happened here. And then we've got some more kind of cool pictures, just of similar stuff around there. And then another nice one of the lighthouse here, but with that nice kind of, you got the blur there, and it kind of leads you into that there, so that's nice. And some kind of cool textures here. And same again. And this one's quite cool. I like the way the light hits the rock. It's nice. And someone's fist there. But yeah, really cool. Once again, nice textures. Getting down low, getting close. It's good that you're not afraid to kind of try different angles and get low and see what the camera looks like here. Definitely encourage that. Got a nice like line coming across there. And yeah, cool. I think we're about there. This is a cool one of the lighthouse as well. Would have maybe liked a tiny bit more negative space, but that's fine. Cool one here. This is really interesting. This is like quite an interesting piece. I think that this is shot quite well as well. The quality looks really good. And again, it is an interesting thing with this, whatever it is. There's some more cool shots of the beach there. And then a nice one of the lighthouse. And that looks really cool. Just capturing the lighthouse on the side there. That's a really awesome shot as well. I think that looks fantastic. It's a brilliant shot, that. Getting the leading line going all the way across and then getting the lighthouse at the end. That's another really, really good shot, actually. Looks amazing. That's a really great shot too. Because it goes like it starts here, but then you've got the leading line that goes all the way along to here, and then you've even got that ship coming in the side. But that's still kind of nice on where you really far. It's lush, that, isn't it?
Who's got that one there?
Amelia.
That's very good.
It's lush, isn't it?
Is that black? Am I blind? Oh no, I was looking black and white from that. No, it's good. It's very nice. Very, very leading lines. I like it.
Yeah.
Bit of a depth of field in there as well.
I know, man.
Still cheeky. I like that.
That's cool.
Very good.
Yeah, definitely pay attention.
That's like you can make that your cover photo on Facebook now.
Definitely, that is cover photo material, I would say. I'll make sure to upload these after the session so you guys can use them for your own purposes. You know, it's quite cool. As well, you got the converging lines on the side. You got the houses right at the back as well. It's cool. And then a nice straight one of the lighthouse there. It's cool. Good stuff. So yeah, great shot. Well done, Amelia. Okay, let's have a look at Charlotte's. So let's have a see. Okay, so cool. So let's see, guys. Okay, so Charlotte's opening one. I think it's really nice. I mean, we talk about lighting a lot. I think that I don't know which ones are edited. Well, some might be apparent, some might not be, but I'm not sure which ones. I know Charlotte has done a little bit of editing, so we'll see which ones are edited and which ones are not. Might not be too obvious. Sometimes might be quite subtle. But first off the bat, obviously the lighting looks really, really nice on there. The way that the lighting's hitting the water just as the tide's kind of coming in looks really nice, and you can see the way that the sun's reflecting off the beach a bit there as well. So I think that the lighting really pops out that image. It makes it quite like the water, like almost like sparkling kind of effect. So I think that that's really nice. It's a good job there, Charlotte. This is quite a cool one. Obviously, we know Charlotte does some really nice kind of abstract photography a lot, and she's got a really good kind of abstract shot here. So look at that. The detail there is amazing, and I think the pattern's so cool as well. Almost like a bit of fungus or something there, but just the way that the leaves kind of come up and the way that the light's hitting it. I tried the pictures on top saying edit. I titled the picture on top saying edit. Okay, cool. Right, so this one says edited. Okay, so I've got you. But yeah, some of the colors in this are really nice. You've got a lot of kind of blacks, but mixed in with like some kind of brown colors as well. I think that looks really nice. It's it's good all around. And once again, it's like what I was saying. It's one of those nice kind of abstract pictures where I think it's going to be great for for a texture if you're ever using on Photoshop or anything like that. these kind of things are great for stuff like that. Okay. So right, you can see the difference between the edit and the original. So there's the original, obviously. Once again, the lighting's very good, but in the edit, you can really see that it really adds like an extra element of mood. So yeah, so Lee's saying that he loves that seaweed shot. So yeah, it's absolutely great. And yeah, you can see with this being the original, it's a bit more lighter, it's kind of brighter. It looks great still, but this one kind of adds a lot more kind of atmosphere and mood to it, just by kind of bringing the saturation down, and maybe bringing the vibrance up a little bit, I guess. But yeah, it looks really cool. Easy difference. So good job on the edit there, Charlotte. An interesting one here. Once again, we've got like another texture. Charlotte was saying, okay, it's hot. Okay, no worries. So Millie's just saying, gonna watch this later as it's hot here as we out, and we're waiting on the car getting repaired. So that's totally fine, Amelia. Um, thank you for tuning in, and good job on your pictures. I think everyone was really impressed with them. I think they look great. So well done. So let's have a look. So yeah, this looks really nice. It's a lot more kind of lighter this time, but once again, the colors are looking really nice, and that almost looks like a fossil or something. That's kind of one of the things I like about a lot of the abstract pictures that Charlotte takes is sometimes it's like hard to tell what it is, and it's like it's so it can kind of make your mind kind of curious in the sense that you're kind of thinking like, I wonder, is that this or is that that? But it looks appealing either way, so I think that that's really cool. So you can see the huge difference there. So obviously this is the original. Like as I said again, it's well lit, the exposure is good, so it ticks all the boxes. But you can see that you kind of drew in, maybe took the saturation out a little bit, added some blues. Maybe looks like you put in a little bit of a vignette here as well. So yeah, it's a really solid edit, along as a good picture. So yeah, definitely you can see that this has got more like of a cold effect, obviously, compared to this one, which has a little bit more vibrancy in it. Wow, this one's really cool. Okay. Wow, so this one's, you must have been really close to take this. So this is kind of, I can't even tell what this is, but I think you've maybe got, I mean, this is maybe a seaweed, but it's got like kind of these specks of like sand, I guess was what it is. And I think it's edited as well, as Charlotte was saying, but this one's a really strong picture, I think. Um, Once again, you got another abstract kind of texture here. Feels very artistic, but it looks kind of like almost looks like hair or like rope or something like that. But I think that and maybe I think that it's seaweed and sand, but it looks really kind of dark. And I think that yeah, I like this one a lot. This one's really strong, I think. Once again, you notice I think that you can see the difference. You can see obviously that this one is 1:1. I'm not sure if this is because you cropped it, Charlotte, or if this is the aspect ratio that you took it in. So if you look at this one here, this one is like standard widescreen, so that'll be like 16:9 or something. And then this is 1:1, which is actually square. So you can see that it's completely square on each side, which is, it's more. I guess that is quite fitting for like abstract photography because it is a more unconventional aspect ratio as well. So I think that it really works for this picture. I think square is perfect for this because it completely fills up this kind of box, which looks really cool. I'm excited to see the unedited version now as well. So there you go. Wow. So that like, you see what I'm saying, guys? So the difference is so huge here. Like this one looks so like they both look good, but I think that this one, like if you look at the edit there, I don't know. I thought you were like looking at the.
Oh no, I was just looking for these stickers.
No worries. So yeah, what Charlotte saying? So Charlotte was saying it's seaweed and sand. Also, I changed the aspect ratio afterwards on some. That's great, and I definitely would encourage that sometimes because sometimes you can get a better image that way by changing the aspect ratio. So that's not a good. That's not a bad shout, definitely. And Lee's just saying it's great editing there. Sometimes as well, guys, like times where I'll take a picture, like if I'll take a raw picture. So obviously, Charlotte has like the insight there to be able to kind of take this picture, and she knows exactly what she wants to do when she starts editing it. So she knows how it's going to look when she starts editing it. So that's actually really important because there's times when I'll take a picture, like namely like nighttime photography. A lot of times if I'm doing like nighttime photography, if there's like some kind of cool lights outside of a building, I know when I take that picture that the raw picture looks like okay, but it doesn't look that good. But I just know that there's just so much. I know how it's going to look when I edit it, so then I know that I can actually make like a really good image from it. And I think that obviously Charlotte's applied a bit of that thought here. Like she knows that that's a good picture, but she knows that she can really desaturate those colors, and then it can make it look something like that, which is going to be like quite a bit more powerful. I mean, obviously, as I said, both great pictures, but this one has a little bit more kind of oomph to it. Nice there as well. So yeah, once again, we've gone for the kind of 1:1 aspect ratio as well. Quite an abstract shot. And I think that the edit to this looks really nice. Straight off the bat, I can see that it's got like a really nice vignette on it. Um, Basically, a vignette, obviously, guys, is just when you put it's basically like it's a softened black circle around the image. I guess is one way of putting it. So it's kind of like if you imagine like if you had a completely opaque vignette, it would just literally be a black circle around the image, but it's usually quite softened, and the purpose of that is just to kind of bring your eyes to the focal point. If you look at like cameras from like the 30s and 40s, they have like a natural vignette in them. So if you look at a lot of like 30s and 40s portrait photography, you'll see that kind of black circle around them. It's because those cameras were inbuilt with like a vignette, or maybe the lenses, but you'll see that that was like a natural thing then. So, but it's still totally used and applied today because, as you can see, it brings your eyes more to the focal point, which is this nice bit of rope here, and it is this kind of this claw here, which looks really really cool. So this is a really nice cool up. And once again, I think that 1:1 square, I think that it works well for this image. So I think that it was a good choice to do that.
Good for social media.
Definitely good for social media as well. So I hear from saying it's good for social media, which is right because if you're uploading on Facebook or something like that, a lot of the stuff is square there. So you'll notice when you watch a lot of videos on Facebook that they're all square, and it's because as well, like when people are scrolling on their phone, that's the kind of square that you're gonna have. So you're not gonna, if it's widescreen, it's gonna come up smaller. Where if it's square, it's gonna be able to be shown full size on your phone. So that's one of the reasons that it's so good on social media. So that's definitely good for that purpose as well. You'll be able to fit the full thing in, and just the placement, it's central placement, but it's clear what the focal point is, and the rest's like quite dark, which kind of helps to draw your eye into the middle. And there's the original, so you can see that the difference is so massive there. So yeah, it's good to see that you really taking your editing kind of techniques to the next level there, because it's good that you kind of darkened it up and kind of crushing. That's not a word. You've kind of crushed the background a bit there, so that looks good. Yeah, I think the edit there, it's a fantastic edit. It's a good shot, but it's a really good edit as well. So good. I really appreciate the fact that you've shown the unedited and the edited as well, so you can see the difference there. It really helps to illustrate like how good the edit is and just the kind of differences that you've made. So I appreciate you sending both in. Cool, another nice shot of the beach here. Once again, we've got the waves kind of coming in, and as I mentioned, like the lighting, I think is really strong in this one. I think that the way that the light is hitting the beach here looks really really nice. So I think good job on that. And then it's another nice shot of the lighthouse as well. So definitely good, cool shot. Wow, this one's pretty cool. Here we've gone for like this is the same kind of aspect ratio that you get with a lot of phones, like kind of that kind of thin all the way down, but it's like a portrait aspect ratio. Oh, it's quite cool. It looks almost like a little man kind of thing. Do you know what I'm saying? But yeah, I think that's quite cool. Obviously, once again, we've got like quite dark, desaturated, quite grey and black, but it looks good. And then you've got the original there, so the edit looks massively different there. And I think that the contrast quite high as well, so there's a lot of difference in even the contrast as well. So I think that's pretty cool. That's good. Yeah, I love it. I love the difference between the edit and I think that it's a nice shot. like almost like a weird kind of human kind of quality to it, like the way that this sticks out, which is very kind of eerie and has like a kind of macabre effect almost. So good job. And then wow, this is a great shot as well. I think once again it's nice and abstract, but I think it works really well. Um, there's a lot of definition and difference in the image just because of the lighting itself, you know. So if you look the way that the water is bouncing off the light, you know, if you look at one of the images we did in tutorial this morning, it was like that, right? And it's just the ripples in the water, but when they're captured with enough detail, it can be really nice. And I think that one of the main things, other than your framing, that's going to give you that effect is the lighting. So you can see that the way that the light hits the water here, and then that kind of ripple effect around here as well. So it's really, really cool. So nice, good shot. And we've got a nice one there as well. So yeah, here we've got like it's kind of like a reverse vignette almost, where instead of having dark sides, we've got white on the sides here, which I think looks quite cool. You can see the way that the corners kind of whiten up at the tips, and that looks quite nice as well. It gives it kind of a vintage effect. Also, kind of makes it like kind of seem more textury. It seems less like water because we're starting to get a bit of white in the middle there. But I think it still looks pretty cool. So good, yeah. And I think that it's like there is a vintage effect to some of the images, and I think that that's kind of drawn from your influence in film, because I know that a lot of film photography they usually have like 1:1. It's like that's a lot of film cameras have that aspect ratio, so maybe being drawn from that. And then we've got a nice one up at the I almost said the White House there. We've got a nice one looking at the White House. They've changed the design. That's what it looks like now. You know, the lighthouse there. I think that looks good. And then another nice one of the water here. And then once again, there's the unedited and the edited. This one looks more kind of misty. It was almost like a fog. It becomes like a gradient, as you can see. I like to edit a lot because it's basically making into like a gradient almost. And I'm actually curious as to how you did edit that. Maybe it is a gradient because it starts completely grey and then it kind of just drifts in the water. So this one looks really nice. This is a really interesting edit, I think. And it's quite creative because I don't know if this has actually been like masked out or how this has been achieved, this effect, but it's created like a kind of gradient effect and then becoming water at the end there. So I think that's really nice. That's a solid texture. And there's the editor, which is quite cool. So yeah, just having the foresight as well to know how you want to kind of edit it afterwards, I think is important too. And that's a wrap for Charlotte's pictures. So we're going to move on to Lee's pictures next. So let's have a little look at what Lee got for us. Alrighty, so thank you, Charlotte, for that. That was fantastic. It was really interesting to see some of the pictures that you were coming up with, and I think they look great. Okay, so Lee sent us a little bit less, but I think that his pictures are really, really high quality, so it should be quite nice to have a look at these. So there you go. Wow. And so this one's really, really nice. I think that's awesome because you've got it's such an interesting kind of shot. You know, you've got to the village, to the bungalow, like the bungalow cafe, and then to Germany. So you've got a different. So it's the sign in itself is really interesting. I think that the composition is really, really nice. And I've got to tell you, Lee, that new camera you've got, but it looks lovely, man. You got it looks this is a really neat, really nice shot. You've got the nice, you know, I don't know if this is in the camera, if it just has this naturally, or if you've added this like vignette, but it looks really nice and it kind of draws your eye into the image. I think that the clouds look really, really nice. So it's a great shot in the sense that you can't see anything else other than the focal point and the background, which is like clouds. So I think that it's really, really cool in that sense. And I think the pattern of the clouds actually looks really nice as well. So well done. I think if we saw like a little bit of sand underneath, you added it. Well, it looks great. So good job there, buddy. Um, so yeah, if we saw, I think if we saw like the sand at the beach, that might ruin it because it's good just to have this solely in the image. I think so. Very, very nice, man. Yeah, I'm a fan of that. It's a really good picture. Just interesting in terms of the content. Also, I think the angle, because you had to take a picture of this, but be able to like show every single thing that's on each sign. So the fact that you can read all of them, I think that's actually important too. Nice. Okay, dogs prohibited on this beach. That's pretty cool. Obviously, you got the nice bit of the sand in the background there, and it's just a nice choice for such selection. Obviously, we've got center placement down here in the middle, which looks really nice, but just a good choice of shot to get the old dogs there. So good shout there, Lee. And I like and these look like footprints, but they kind of look like paw prints almost. So I love the kind of irony in that almost. It's quite funny. And then the stone even is a little kind of nice feature just in the background. And this is a really strong shot as well to kind of get these. Once again, it's nice just to have only the focal point and then just a pure empty background with still a lot of definition in it. You've got the clouds coming through there, but yeah, good timing as well because you need to get it when the flags are actually flying. So you've got to wait for the right moment that the wind is in effect. But it's really good and it's nice to kind of capture all these different flags here as well. So I think that looks really nice, bud. So good job there. I'm a big fan of this one as well because I think it looks really cool. So well done there, lead bud. This is a really nice image too. Yeah, that's great. And then this is lovely as well. Capturing a nice moment there. Obviously, we were talking about like street photography and candid street photography as well. This is, you've captured a lovely moment. You've got this like lovely old couple here, hand in hand, across the beach, and it just looks like a really nice moment. I mean, obviously, we've got there's not too much positive space. There's a lot of negative space, but I think it kind of still works in terms of the composition. It's like right down the rule of thirds, so it looks really nice. And then, of course, once again, you've got this really nice kind of surface divider between the beach and between the sea and between the little path to the lighthouse here. And it just captures a really nice moment. I think it looks really nice. And obviously, they got the horizon line here, which just goes through the image, separating the clouds and the sea, and that looks really nice as well. So there's a lot of interesting kind of lines in the image, but I think that the leading lines here draw you into the couple. So they kind of come from reverse, and then it draws your attention to the focal point, which is obviously the couple. So that's a really strong picture as well. I like this a lot. It looks really, really nice. So this is a lovely picture as well. What do we think, guys? I'm a big fan of it. I think it looks great. I think it looks really lovely. Okay, okay. So now, wow, this one's awesome. So once again, I think that this is maybe a bar. Yes, this is another bar. We were talking. We looked. We were kind of marveling at Amelia's bar that she had across her image. Lee's got another fantastic one here. This is a really, really nice picture because you've got that really good surface divider which goes across the horizon line between the sea and the clouds. You've got this nice one big cloud that's kind of coming in here, and then you've just got this kind of silhouette of a man with his dog on his board. So this is a fantastic picture, and you've got that as the main focal point. But the fact that it's a silhouette, I think, kind of adds that extra element to it. So the black line is the pier at Hendon. So yeah, it's the line on the pier. Oh, I've got you, mate. Oh, right, yeah. So I know exactly. Yes, I know what you're talking about. Also, that's actually it's not from like a bar. It's from the actual other side of the pier. So yeah, that looks really, yeah, you can see when you zoom in as well. So that's really cool. I think that looks fantastic. And yeah, just that like just it's such a unusual but such a, like a nice kind of moment to capture. That is once again that's like cover photo material that I would definitely post that on any kind of social media because that's absolutely a lovely shot there. Um, Fantastic. And I love the like color of the cloud and then also the color of the sea as well. I just think that it looks so nice that you've got these nice gray, blue, and then a black as well mixed in. You get a really good shot. And you can just see nice um, sense of movement as well. You can tell that he's moving to the left. You've got that nice trail in the line there. So that's a really great shot, man. And how really we all saw that kind of moment together. And we were like, wow. So it's good that you managed to capture a good shot because part of it is just make sure you get the shot. And I think you got it. So well done. And then yeah, once again we've got another really nice shot here of the leading line towards the lighthouse, which is just another perfect shot there, I think. And it's just really good that you got on that side. And I think the composition is absolutely perfect here. Once again, just to kind of have it right on that right third. And honestly, guys, I'm so amazed at some of the photos you came out. I mean, you guys have done so well. I think your photography is so fantastic. Now you're coming out with some great stuff. I think obviously the aspect ratio, I think it's like 4:3. I don't think it's quite 16:9, but let me know if I'm wrong. Because it kind of looks wide, but it's not like wide as widescreen because it's still quite wide. It's still quite long as well. But yeah, that nice leading line all the way, drawing your attention right to that lighthouse there. I think that looks absolutely fantastic. So good job there as well, mate. That's a really really strong shot. And then we've just got another portrait style shot of the actual lighthouse itself, which is great as well. Once again, um, good leading line, kind of drawing your attention straight to the lighthouse. And something that I noticed on the day as well, which I kind of pointed out, which makes it look so cool, is just the cloud that kind of wraps around the lighthouse, and it makes for a really kind of interesting background. Um, and it's just an interesting mix of colors as well. It helps. Also, that cloud helps really pop the lighthouse out from the background, which I think looks really cool as well. So all around, that's a great shot too. Even the characters, you've got that kind of older woman kind of looking off into the distance, which just looks really nice, and it gives you more of a sense of depth between the foreground there and the background, just having these little characters kind of dotted around the place as well. So another solid shot there, mate. So all in all, I think you've done some really really strong shots there. And then we've got the last one here Pizza. I think that looks really cool. But yeah, good shallow depth of field to get that in. It's an interesting shot, so very creative to kind of identify that and find it. And your composition is fantastic in terms of the fact that it's right in the center and you've managed to get it right balanced. So that's not like on an angle, because sometimes when you're shooting down like that, and I know you didn't have a tripod, it's quite difficult to get that. So I'm not sure if. And then also you've added like a nice little vignette once again. But yeah, I mean, this is like typical kind of British culture, right? I think that stuff like this is just it's real, you know. It's showing what it's actually like. So I think that this is a great one as well. Yeah, I really like it. And just the fact that the distance in terms of the symmetry is nice as well, because you've managed to get an equal distance from this side to the left side as well, with the text right in the middle. So social commentary shot. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what it is, man. It's like social realism. So excuse me. So yeah, I think it looks really really cool. Mm-hmm. Good symmetry, good solid depth of field, and really good composition. All right, fantastic. So good shout, Lee. I'm sure if we're all in the classroom, we can give you a round of applause. So I'm very impressed by everyone's shots now. Um, we're going to go through briefly Sue's, and Linda's. There's not too much to get through with these guys. And I'm not sure they're here right now. Make yourself known if you are. I know Sue has had issues with before. Excuse me. Sue's had issues with before, so I think Sue's watching, but she can't comment. But yeah, good job, mate. And let's have a little look at what Sue got for us on the day. We're not going to be able to spend too much time on it, so my apologies if I skip over anything, and if anyone in the chat sees anything, just let me know. But yeah, off the bat, we've got a really nice texture here, so good job there. So I think that looks really nice. Just kind of cool to get the different kind of colors in there as well, which looks absolutely fantastic. And I love um, just the kind of different um, pattern, I guess you could say, in there. I think that looks so cool. So yeah, that's nice just to get those speck of colours just mixed in the stone. So a nice abstract shot there, Sue. Kind of cool shot of the rocks here. Just getting in on an interesting kind of separation between the nice bit of shadows as well, kind of coming in here. I think that's quite nice too. So well done. And then a lovely shot of a little doggy there. So I know that Sue likes her dogs. So yeah, it's cool to get stuff like that as well. It's just kind of capturing the scene, capturing something in the moment, and that is like a cute little doggo as well. So that's a nice little shot too. It's lovely now. Nice shot of the lighthouse here. Obviously, once again, forgot. I think the aspect ratio is pretty much 4:3 throughout. You can see it's definitely 4:3 because it's not quite square, but it's a little bit wider than that. And good composition here, Sue. So we've got this on the right rule of thirds here, so it's right down the third hand side. So good job on the composition there. You've got two people in the subject there, which looks really nice. So well done on that also. And then you've got another person there as well, so that's really cool. So good job overall there. I think that looks really nice. And then we've got it. The colors look quite good as well. They're quite dark, and it's not underexposed, but it looks quite desaturated, but in a nice way. Another nice shot there, slightly closer to that rule of third thing. So once again, quite good composition. This one's a really nice one. Good job getting the shallow depth of field as well there. So guys, obviously we talk quite a bit about shallow depth of field. That's a really good example of that. Kind of just capturing that moment there. And like I like the decay on the sign. It looks good. The shallow depth of field is nice. Just a good close up, and once again the composition is quite nice. As we're kind of on that rule of third a bit. So another good job there, Sue. Got another nice one. Just one of the stones there. Then the bench as well with a bit of the decay on it, which is quite nice. And then this is a nice one here of the sand. Once again, just getting a few of those different textures. Nice close-up shot. Good angle as well, facing down. Good job there, Stu. Looks really nice. Another one there. Kind of a bit of abstract shot there. Good stuff. Yeah. Just kind of the different textures. The stone in the middle here is obviously the focal point. So looks quite nice. Good job. We've got a nice one here. These lines actually look quite nice as well. So obviously got a full shot of the beach. And I love the way that these kind of sand dunes, if you want to call that, they almost act as leading lines in this like little path of these stones, almost like a leading line towards the beach. So I think that looks good as well. So well done for that too. It looks really nice. And then wow, this is a really good one. We've got really nice, another nice abstract shot here. So obviously Sue's gone for quite a few abstract shots too, which I think looks really cool. And it's just a nice close up of some of this decay. Really good shot choice. Good angle. I think the light's quite nice because there's a difference between the light on the top right hand side and the left hand side where the light must have been hitting it. But I think it looks well just to kind of give you kind of different colours of this image. And then again, similar shot here. Quite nice. I like this a lot. This is really good. It's a good job here. Because talking about filling the frame as well, it fills the frame up with this kind of pattern. So it's quite creative, it's artistic. And then here's another interesting one here. Just capturing some of the seaweed on the beach and some of that decay there, mixed in with the stones as well. We'll have to go back next time. Next time, if we go back, we'll have to do some rock pooling, as Charlotte said, and see if we can get any little crab guys or oysters or anything. But really, really cool. Nice. Once again, quite similar. Nice little thing of the seaweed there, looking pretty cool. And then we've got that nice claw, similar to what Charlotte captured. And I think the detail on this looks really nice. So good job on getting that nice, well lit shot. And having that kind of bang in the center there, it's really, really good as well, Sue. Yeah, definitely. So Charlotte made a really good point there. She was saying, yeah, to be honest, Charlotte, that's actually a really, really good point. So yes, Sue, I think that you've definitely made a massive improvement in your photography. From the first time we got out and we were shooting compared to now, I think your photography's improved hugely. So well done, Sue, for that. I know she is watching because she messaged me earlier saying she's having issues logging into a Google account, but she says that she's definitely watching. So yeah, Charlotte's just saying she can see improvements in everybody's photographies. Um, so yeah, good job. I think that's so true. I think everyone's came on massively. And another nice abstract shot here, just capturing some of the sand and getting some of that seaweed too, which I think is really nice. And then there's another one here, which I think looks quite good too. Just having the stone there with that kind of stone hitting that rule of third, and that's pretty nice too. Got a nice shot of the birds there with a bit of the seaweed at the bottom. Again, more of that. That's another nice one. Another nice abstract shot. This is a nice one here with all of the birds in the background. And then another nice little doggo. Such a cutie. And then a nice close up there. It's a good portrait actually. Got him bang in the centre there, so I think that one's a great one. So Lee's just saying that it's a great set of pics as well. So I totally echo that. So well done, Sue. A lovely little portrait of the dog. And there you go, that's what you want. Looking at the camera, perfect. That's a really strong shot there. Almost only got him in the picture, which would be perfect. We've got a little bit of the legs there, but that's alright, we don't mind that. We could crop that if we wanted to, but we don't need to. But yeah, that's nice with him looking at the camera too. Then two more doggos. These are both cute as well. Good shot as well. Right, it's good that you got that kind of specific thing, so I think it looks quite cool. And they're lovely, they look like twins too. Got some nice shadows here coming along the bottom. A nice shadow there. So I think that looks great too. Great. Awesome. So well done, Sue. So thanks. I appreciate you sending those in, Sue. Well, I uploaded them, but I appreciate you taking those, Sue. We're going to have a look at Linda's and then Lynn's. So we've got a couple of Linda's. I don't think I managed to get all of yours, Linda, because I didn't get. I think I downloaded as many as I could, but if I missed a couple, I'm sorry for that. But we'll see what we've got. So once again, we've gone for the 4:3 aspect ratio, which is fine. Quite looks good, and obviously we've got a nice shot just going along the coast there. We've got that fence used as like a leading line there, leading us in just towards the road, and then we've got like quite like a nice like kind of dark cloud. Obviously looks like it's going to rain, but good job to capture that. And then there we've got a nice leading line kind of going along the sand there, so good job on that, Linda. Looking really cool. And let's see, I think that looks really nice as well. So good angle as well to get it on the left hand side, kind of going down, so it's slightly diagonal. So a good angle there. And then this is a really nice one because you've got kind of their expression almost in the foreground, and you've got their eye line, which actually leads you into the center of the image. So this is actually a really smart pick, and then it leads you to them as well. So to have all three of them on the same kind of plane of field, that's a really good angle. And I actually look really interesting, like the way that it's metal, but it looks kind of like kind of soft at the same time, but it's obviously not. It's a really interesting sculpture, and it's almost looks like you've got some kind of emotion in this as well. I think that the way that the background is the kind of leaves, well not the leaves, sorry, like the grass looks really cool too. So yeah, great shot there. Looks awesome. This is definitely one of my favorites that you sent in, Linda. I'm a big fan of this one. I just love that the angle that you captured that and you caught that in the foreground too. And it is slightly out of focus, so you've got like a nice bit of depth of field there as well. And then we've got a very cool one here, just of the turtle. I think it was a tortoise turtle. Just looking up there, but really good composition. You've got that right on that third there and the rule of thirds. So your composition's absolutely fantastic there, Linda. So good job there. I think that looks great. And then we've just got another one, obviously. Linda's, as I was saying before in the first half of the session, in terms of composition, Linda's sent us in some really nice things with shadows. So there's just that's kind of echoing that there. We've just got some really nice shadows cast over that, which looks really cool. So well done getting that as well. And obviously that's because the light's hitting it from the left-hand side. And then this is just a really nice shot here. I mean, I think that she told me this was in Shields, but I mean, that could be like tucked in Malta or somewhere, right? Just the way that the light hits the water looks fantastic. And it's like quite a nice light blue. And I love this kind of the way that the stones, using the stones as the foreground, kind of leads you into the image. I think that that's really nice. So really good angle to take it on, and beautiful lighting on the image there. So I think that the exposure is obviously really good. You've exposed the picture really well. So well done there, Linda. I'm a fan of this one. And then you've got the beach in the background there. It looks nice. It just makes you want to be there looking at the image. So good job, Linda. And then we've got, I think, one more maybe, which is another one here of like the cliff side or the cliff edge, I guess you call it, the cliff face. I don't know, I can't remember. Cliff edge, that would be right. And just we've got the nice leading lines drawing you all the way in with the nice kind of shadow coming along the road there. And I think that's a nice shot as well. So well done, Linda. I think that looks really, really cool. And that is the last one. So good job to Linda for sending those in. Obviously, she wasn't on the walk, but she got out of Shields and got some pictures. Finally, last but not least, we've got a few good images that Sue sent us in. Lynn Johnson sent us in. She went with Rob as part of a fitness session to the Roker Beach a couple of days after. Another great set of pics. Totally agree, Lee. Linda sent in some great stuff, so good job to Linda. And here we've got a couple of ones that Lynn sent in, which we can have a quick look at. And then, yeah, let's have a look. So, okay, so we've got a really nice one of the bridge. Good angle. Good exposure. It looks really good quality. And it's just a really nice kind of shot of that structure there with the road empty. So nice, yeah, nice shot. And we've got a nice one here over the bridge, just kind of overlooking some of these ships. Once again, quite nice exposure. Good. It's a high angle shot, so well done on getting that there. It looks pretty good, and yeah, just a nice wide shot. Once again, we've gone for 4:3 in terms of aspect ratio, and there we go. Nice portrait there. Got a nice portrait of Rob, looking smart as a dart. And then I think this is a great shot. This is a really strong shot because we've got the rule of thirds there, so I think that the composition is good in terms of the placement of Rob. He looks it's interesting as Rob, but I think that in terms of the way Rob's placed, it looks great. And then you've got on the left hand side, on the left third, you've got this leading line that draws you into these guys from Rob. So Rob's obviously the focal point, and I think even that looks quite cool because you've got these fishermen obviously fishing, but then you've got that on the other third as well. So you've got both your thirds are kind of lined up with this, but I think that looks really, really cool. So I think this is a very strong picture. And obviously, I think that the kind of barrier is great to have there, but with those kind of three people huddled together, and then Rob on the right hand side as well. And it's good that see that's another good thing. It's a lot of people take portrait pictures dead on, and if she took that like dead on of him, it would look more flat. Whereas it's took on an angle, and it kind of pops him out a bit, gives him a bit more definition, and just makes the image even better. So yeah, if you're taking a portrait, it's good to take that on an angle and get the not like on a total like side like that, but like on a slight angle to get your model to move slightly to look slightly towards the camera. But definitely working with angles and diagonals important in portrait photography. So that's a good shot. And this is another nice one. I thought this was a really nice one too. Obviously pointed out how lovely that the houses looked, or cabins, or whatever you'd like to say, and that's just a nice one. Getting all those cabins in and the different colors there, which looks absolutely lovely, and then just having that in the background with the lighthouse there as well, looks absolutely fantastic. So good shot there, Lynn, as well. I'm a big fan of that. And then just another one of the lighthouse. Obviously, it's slightly zoomed in. You can see the digital zoom, but it still looks quite nice. Obviously, you are getting a bit of grain on the image of it being zoomed in, but still, it's good job to capture the bird there and also to capture the lighthouse there coming in as well. So, well done, Lynn. And that is it. So that is it for our pictures. Now we are going to have a look at some of our kit. Oh, don't know if you guys heard that. That was a big click. And we're going to go through some of our kit together. We're going to put another video capture up here. Hello, guys. Okay. So, guys, I'm going to make that smaller for now, but I will make it bigger if I can find it. Okie dokie. That's it. Okay. So I'm going to put this like in the middle. Alright. So, hell, it's weird having it like this close to me. Cool. Alright, so guys, I am going to show you guys some of the different kit that we have with us. And we're going to have a little look through that together. Okay, so we'll start off with what I usually shoot with. And then I'm going to test your knowledge on what's what and see if you guys can kind of remember anything. Or, well, not that you can remember stuff, but see how much you can remember and if you know exactly what's what. I'm going to try not to break anything because that can be quite clumsy, but I'm not going to break anything. Okay, so first off the bat, got our standard DSLR camera. We've got two of these. This is the Panasonic GH4, which is a great camera, and there we go. I just stinging there, guys. Sorry, I know I must look crazy, but then at your top here, we've got we were talking about in the previous class about burst mode. If you can see, that is actually our burst mode. You can see that there's one frame there, and then if you move that, there's like several frames there. That's the burst mode. So that would be burst mode would be activated there. So that is our burst mode for our camera. You can see, I'm going to show you guys some of the different settings on the top here. If you look at the very top, we've got C2, C3, C1. That's custom mode. So they're the different custom modes. The paint thing is like intelligent auto. That's intelligent auto. That's like a weird portrait mode. And then A automatic and M. The two that I always use almost is M that you can see there. There's two different M's. There's a manual. That's just a manual mode. So there's like an M for video, and then there's an M for video, which is then like a video camera there. And then underneath there's like an M for photography as well. So those two M settings is what I use. It's just manual, and that gives you complete control over the exposure triangle. So that's what I use mainly for when I'm doing video stuff. So those two are definitely the most essential or most important or more like most used by me, at least. Let's say this is an interesting one I want to pull out. So yeah, Panasonic GH4. There's the GH5. There might even be a GH6 now, but I still say that would be maybe £1,000, maybe like £800 now. But you can get a good GH2. GH2 is still a solid camera for like a couple £100. So if you're interested in getting a similar camera to what I've got, obviously that's a GH4, but the GH2 is actually still a pretty solid camera. Panasonic Lumix GH2. Check it out. It is obviously, I don't know if it would be, all of them would be secondhand now because I don't know if they still make it, but still a solid camera that you can pick up off eBay or Amazon. I've got a little pouch here, guys. I'm not sure if you can, if you have any idea what that might be. It's made by a brand called Hoya. Let's see, anyone got any ideas what it might be? Alright, let's see. If anyone can tell me what they think that's going to be. I'm sure you've got a good idea. Give me 2 seconds. I'm going to put that down there. There we go. That's the one. Alright, cracking. Is that okay, guys? Stretch that out a bit. There we go. Alright, brilliant. So yeah, guys, I don't know if I want to stretch out the left hand side. I know this is just unnecessary, but like, there we go. That's the wrong thing. There we go. It's weird having a camera this close to my face. I don't really like it, to be honest, but it's worth it for the sake of the demonstration. Okay, so guys, let's see if anyone answered the question that I asked. Ah, Charlotte, good job. Filters, exactly. So, as I said, I'm going to try my best not to break anything. But we've got our filters in here, and I think that some of them might be UV filters, but most of them are. And UV filters can be good, but most of them are ND filters. So this is an ND filter here. So if you want to have a quick look at this, and then you can see that as I was talking about ND filters before, they're basically like sunglasses for your lenses, and this is an ND filter here. Okay, so what you would do, if I would have, so I'll actually show you on a lens. I'm not sure if this is the right specs, like if it's going to fit this lens, but basically what you do is you've got my lens here. This is a zoom lens, and the ND filter just goes on the top. It would be this way, sorry, and you would just screw it. It's slightly too big for it, so it's not going to fit, but you can get adapters, and it would just sit on top of the lens like that, and then you could shoot. And obviously, as I said, the good thing about an ND filter, it is like sunglasses for your lens, so you don't have to change your aperture, and it would cancel out some of that light. And this ND filter is, I'll just put this lens back very carefully. So this ND folder in particular is, let's have a look, it's got it on it. So it is an ND8. I know, Charlotte, you were talking about which one to get. This is a Hoya ND8, and it's 58mm spec. So make sure when you get it as well that it's actually going to match your lens, because you can easily buy an ND folder that's going to be too big or too small for your camera. So make sure that it fits as well. And let's have a look. Can't think of where I put the bag now. All right, cool. So yeah, this is a UV folder, I think. So yeah, this is a UV folder. I haven't really used this too much, but in case you were interested. So it's like to black out UV light, but okay, right. I'll see. I'm sure we do have another ND. I think this is also a UV filter. This ND. Yeah, this is ND as well. So we've got one more ND here just to show you guys. You can see that this one is not as opaque as the other one. So if I show you them side by side, you can see that that one is a much more opaque than the other one. I don't know if that's coming through on the lens. So basically, this one here, I need to put that back in its right little package. This one here is once again 58mm, but this is slim, and I think that it says, so 58mm, same size. I think, and it says slim. It's so difficult to do that. And it says slim there. So I think that this one is about 4 or 2 in terms of ND, but yeah, also really good. Alrighty, so put that back there. Alrighty. I'll put this one back in here as well. Okay, guys, cool. So let's see if we've got any jump. So yeah, there's different ND filters you can get. You can pick them up for relatively cheap online. I think like maybe like, I don't know, like £10 or something like that. They're not very expensive at all. Here I've got. Who can tell me what this is? It's a type of lens, but you know what? Can anyone tell me what type of lens it is? Give me a point if you can guess. Let's see. Anyone got any ideas what type of lens that is? 45 to 200. I've got some more interesting stuff we can set up in a second, well, guys. Lee, very good. Good job, Lee. That's a zoom lens. So this is our 45-200 zoom lens. I don't really use this that much, but it is a decent lens. And basically, yeah, you can see that the specs here, it's 45 to 200. And when you get a zoom lens, you want to make sure that it has this, which is, sorry, it's so difficult to do this. That's mega OIS, so that's image stabilization. So if you could buy a zoom lens without image stabilization, you might have a bit of trouble because when you zoom in, if you're not on a tripod, or even if you're on a tripod, when you move, it's going to be like chaos because it's so zoomed in. Especially if you're shooting video, even for photography, it might you run into some issues. So definitely look for one that has something like that. Usually when it's next to the lens, it'll just have IS next to it, which just means image stabilization. So that is our zoom lens, and I think, is this another zoom lens? Oh no, this is not. So here is our best lens. So this is 35 to 100, and it says HD underneath it. And you can see that the actual specs on the lens there, it says 28 f-stop. Hold on if I can get that close. Yeah, so 28 ft. So it goes down to like 2.8 f-stop, which is great. Um, and it's a 0.85 amp. I'm not. It says that power CIS. I just always have that on. And this lens is the Lumix G, 35 to 100. So I think that this is our best lens probably. It goes down to 35 mils, so it's not really ultra wide, but it's still kind of bordering on wide. It's definitely one of our best lenses. It's actually our most I think I just accidentally pressed one of these phones. I think it's our most expensive lens, so it's about £1,000 this lens, believe it or not. So obviously need to be really careful with it. And there it has some of the more specs inside as well. 35 to 100. Looks a bit dirty. Could do with a wipe probably. You can actually give it a wipe shortly, but yeah, this lens is a good bit of kit. So we need to be careful with this. But yeah, I think it's about £1,000, so it's expensive lens, and it's really really good. We use it for everything. Okay, so okay, let's see. Do I have anything on the front? I don't actually think so. Some old hand wash. Nothing else in there. That's just one of our camera bags. Obviously, you can get like a standard kind of camera bags. This one, you make sure it's got some padding in it, so it's got a bit of soft padding to kind of stop it from getting any damage on it or anything like that. And then if we look, I've got the other camera bag which has, there's a bunch of sound stuff and things like that I can show you, but maybe we would look at that in the video class. There's not really any need to look at that in the photography class today. But yeah, good job. So telephoto lens, that's right, Charlotte. It is telephoto or zoom, both okay. It is both of those things. Oh, almost broke the computer. Okay, so guys, we're gonna have a look at the other camera. So we've got camera A and camera B. It's the same camera again. It's another GH5. If I show you our bag, if I go on a film shoot, this is the bag that I bring, heavily padded, and it has a bunch of different compartments. In here, in particular, it's got this bunch of different kind of compartments, which I use primarily for just to put different lenses and the like. I'm going to see if we've got the mono. I think I showed you guys the monopod before, but I'm not sure if it's kicking around anywhere convenient. I'm not sure, but if I find out, I'll let you guys know. Okay, so right, I'm going to show you guys the other camera and some of the lenses that we have for that. Okie dokie. So, hey, okay, you ready? Okay, so this is our camera. Obviously, I think the last time I used it was actually when we were on the beach. I've been on a couple of shoots since then. So yeah, once again, it's just another GH4. This time we've got our stock lens on it. This is the standard lens. I rarely use this because usually if you buy a DSLR in a bundle, you'll get something called a stock lens, which we mentioned before, which is like a lens that they would give to you. It's always a good starter lens, but the glass is never usually that good on them. So I would definitely recommend broadening your horizons. and getting a different kind of lens once you get the chance to. All right, so 14 to 45 millimeters there. And that's so it's a wide lens, it's a wide angle lens, and it goes up to 45, which is pretty much standard, and it just zooms as such. But once again, as I said, it's not the best lens out of all the lenses we have. This will probably be my least favorite. But once again, if you're a starter, getting a kind of getting a stock standard lens like this might be good for you. I think the reason I used it was because we were going to the beach and I wanted something that I could be a bit more blasé with. I was kind of paranoid about bringing a £1,000 lens just because I know how much of a nightmare beaches can be in terms of getting sand in the sensor and so on. Okay, now I want to show you a wide angle lens. So, believe it or not, this tiny little thing is one of my favorite lenses. I know that it's quite small, but it's awesome. Like this, if you look at this here, see if it's got any specs in it. So I've got the bag for it as well, actually. Let's see. So I'm not sure if you can see that. That's how it's got. If I could try it. Okay, there you go. So you guys can see underneath there. It's one. I'll have to show it right. You can't really see that, but you can kind of see in here actually. If you look, you can see that white line there. Can you guys see that in the middle? Now you can see it looks dirty, right? Because what actually happened is that little white line. So this is why I tell you to be careful with your lenses. You can see on the left hand side there it says f 1.7, so it's 1.7 f-stop, so it's an expensive bit of kit. But that little white scratch there, that is an absolute nightmare. And like that is like the worst possible thing ever to happen. And basically what it was I was filming on a building site, and you need to have, and because there's like machines around, there's people like sand flying about and stuff, and I was filming this project, and obviously, unbeknownst to me, it must have just got a scratch at some point, and I hadn't realized, and then obviously when I've been shooting now, if I use this lens, it works fine, and you can't actually notice the scratch. But if I ever shoot with an ISO, with like an aperture higher than like or lower than like 8, if it gets to like maybe 10, um, so if sorry for let's just to simplify that, if I ever shoot with like an f-stop higher than like 8, you can actually see the scratch. But if I've got a really wide aperture, you can't actually see it. So it really only comes into effect, but it's a nightmare. I hate it, but I just really, so if you've got a DSLR, really be careful with your lenses, and every time you take a picture, when you're not using it, instead of just having it out, put your lens cap back on, because otherwise you could end up with a scratch like that, and it's just a total nightmare. Um, it's fine because most of the time I'm not using an f-stop that high, but still, it's definitely less than ideal to have to worry about those kind of things. Okay. Gonna put it back. I think that's pretty much everything that's in this bag. Alright, so I've got something else I can show you guys. Got one more thing here. This is the monopod, my trusted monopod that I use for pretty much every single shoot. You can see that it's similar to like, I call it like the equivalent to like a selfie stick, like for a DSLR. And if I just put one of the cameras on it, I can show you guys how we use it. So yeah, if you have a quick look, guys. And then after this, we're going to look at something pretty cool. So obviously, I do have a tripod, but a lot of the photography a lot of the videography that I do is on the move. So when you're on the move, sometimes you don't have time to get set. So you don't really have time to set up your tripod. You've just got to capture what's happening in the moment. And for that, a monopod is like one of the best tools you can have because it's cheap and it's effective. You know, you can get good image stabilization. If you're just holding the camera by itself, it's never going to be that stable. But if you've got a monopod, you can get relatively good stabilization, especially if you've got like a nice wide lens. You're able to capture everything. And if it's like a good wide lens like we've got, it's pretty lightweight. So it's like nice and light, and you can kind of move it around without having that much kind of camera shake. And it looks relatively still. We do have a different kind of like a different stabilizer and stuff that we haven't really had a chance to use much, but this is one of the main ones that we use. So yeah. Okay. Cool. So that's our monopod. Also, one of the great things is that if you ever want to drop these down, they do extend. So you can kind of, I forgot there's like sand all over the bottom of that. So you can kind of drop them down, and then you can kind of set it down and use it as like a one-legged or tripod, like a monopod basically, but you can extend it. Those legs are extendable. So that's another good feature of a monopod as well. And monopods are really cheap. Once you get, I think, £20, like you can get a monopod maybe even cheaper than that. So I think I think cheaper than that actually. So
There we go.
All right, so cool. So that's our monopod 2. And I'm going to show you guys. I want to ask you guys, what is this next thing that I'm going to show you? Hair from.
Yeah. Alright,
Yeah, not too bad, man. All right, cool. So guys, let me know what is this. So guys, who can tell me what this is? It's a big boy. If you can tell me what that is, guys. What is this huge thing that I've got in my hand? We've definitely learned it, so I'm guessing that some people should know. You see, we don't take the best care of these. Actually, we should probably look after them a bit better. But I had a look online, and they're actually surprisingly cheap. Softbox lighting, diffuser light. So I would say, yeah, it's a softbox. You're not wrong, Lee, because that is diffusion. This white sheet is diffusion, but this actual object is called a softbox. Softbox. If you ever go to like a photographer's studio, like a portrait photographer's studio, guaranteed you'll have a softbox. A lot of portrait photographers use these a lot. And basically, it's just a nice, soft, diffused light that is good for things like portraits and so on. You don't get a lot of reflection off them, so that's one of the good reasons for that. If we just kind of peel back our little curtain here, if we can, these are all kind of hooked in together. Let's see if I can peel it back. So if we can see that, you can just peel back the diffuser, and then it's got another sheet on it. So there, you can see that. And then underneath that is the light bulb. So then it's got like a little bulb like that as well. And that's all it is. You just diffusing that bulb there. So the sheet does that, and then so does the sheet on top. And then that just gives you a nice diffused light. Surprisingly, I looked online and I thought that softboxes would be quite expensive, but they're actually quite cheap. I think I saw softboxes on Amazon for like 30 quid. If you think it'd be more expensive, would it be like a staple of photography and whatnot? But yeah, 30 quid or so, not that expensive. I could set it up. I'll tell you what, I'll strike that. So if I just plug it in, if you're not going to electrocute myself as a gun already. So yeah, there you go. So you can kind of see how it works, and you can't really tell, but that's giving off quite a nice diffused light. So yeah, that is a softbox. Okay, and if we do like I say in the future, obviously we're talking about advanced photography courses. we've got a lot more kit. Obviously, I'm only showing you like a brief, like kind of look into what we've got here. But if we're able, post COVID, obviously we've seen the latest guidelines and stuff, so we'll see what we're like. But in the near future, if we're able to do like an advanced photography course, we might be able to do a workshop, and we'll be able to use our soft boxes and stuff, and like do some like mimic some like portrait photography and things like that. So this, we may be able to use this in the future if we do some more cost-based learning on this. Let's put it down for now. Other light we have here. This is called a light stand. And basically, it is what the title is. You just kind of plop it onto here. You plop your light onto there, and then you screw it in. I've got an LED light, which we can use. You have a little look first. This is our LED light, and you can see that it's just millions. Well, not millions, definitely not millions, but it's like just like loads of these little kind of studs that all kind of form this one LED light, and it's an absolute must for like videography and stuff like that. But it'll also be used a lot in video and photography. LED lights are just quite affordable lights, which give you like a nice white light. You don't have that kind of horrible orange glow that you would get on tungsten lights. And exactly, yeah, as Haytham was saying, you can get a diffusion sheet on it, and basically, we've got them upstairs actually.
Yeah,
actually, there's some in here actually. So you can get a filter or like a diffusion light. So if you wanted to, say for example, you wanted to shoot a scene where you wanted your character, for example, when we did our dissertation film, we used a bunch of lights, like we had 2K lights and stuff, like which is like massively high voltage, to kind of make it seem like this nightclub was a bunch of different colors. So we had it lit up red, we had it lit up blue, and we had it lit up orange, so it looked like every room was a different color. Now how you do that is you put like a gel, or you put a filter just on top of the light, and it's really as simple as that. We've actually got one here that you can have a little look at. So we've got an orange one here. So if you wanted to create like a nighttime effect, obviously you think about a lot of nights, like a street light or something, it's usually quite like an orangey effect. So all you would do is you would just open that bit there, and you'd slip that sheet underneath it. I'm not going to do it now because, you can just clip it onto here. And you would just slip that sheet on, and it would give you like a nice kind of orange glow. But you can get like blue gels, red gels, whatever you wanted to do. We've shot a scene before where we had like a bunch of red gels in a club, and that looks really cool. I always think red looks quite cool in videography. So yeah, and also as Haytham was saying, you can get that with diffusion as well. So you can literally just get a sheet of diffusion and you can put that on the front, and that would also work. But yeah, definitely for if you're doing like photography and you want something cheap, you can get like a 3-point lighting setup. So you could buy 3 different LED lights, and then you can have like a nice kind of a 3-point lighting setup, which would look really cool. And I think you could pick that up for relatively cheap online. But yeah, something else that this doesn't have that a lot of LED lights will have is it doesn't have barn doors. Barn doors are something that sit on the front, and I think it actually does have barn doors. This bit upstairs somewhere, but basically they kind of sit on the front of the light, and you can kind of open it up, and you can kind of flag the light for how you want. So maybe the actual like field of how like this light source is quite wide, maybe goes that wide, but you don't want that. You want to focus the light in a bit. Well, what you would do is you would just slightly close the barn doors, and it would just kind of center the light a bit better. So that's something as well that you have for most lights. I'm just going to plug it in because I want to show you that it is actually dimmable. So if I just move that down, I can. So yeah, should be alright. So if I put that there, I can show you that it's actually dimmable as well. Just going to plug it in. Okie dokie. So let's see. Right, so there you go. Oops, sorry. Usually this shouldn't be turned on, so obviously when it's being used last, it's been left turned on. You should always turn it off after and before use because you don't want to end up like blinding someone or shining in someone's eye. Every time It's just a little tip. If you're on a film set, what you say when you're putting the light on is you say striking, so you say striking or striking a light, so people know that you're gonna light. You're about to set a light off. So always make sure you say that, or you get in trouble on the film set. I'm just gonna close these blinds a little bit. Sorry, man. So yeah, if I turn this on now, if you have a little look, right, you can see how strong that is. That's on 10 actually, but you can see if we put it up, it's much brighter. So if I turn it, there we go, like here, you can see we can adjust the brightness on the back. So that's about 4B, and then you can see that it gets lower. So that's a good thing about LED lights as well, that you won't have that luxury of other lights. So if you bought some redheads or something like that, they might be a little bit stronger, but they won't be dimmable. With LED lights, they are dimmable, so you can adjust the brightness. You can make it brighter or darker. Obviously, it's not really showing up on the webcam. It's just looking like a big bunch of light. But if you could see, if I show you this area, it's a bit messy, mine. But if we can have a little look there, you can kind of see how bright that is. But you can see if I put it, so it's at 10 now, you can see that area starts to brighten up the higher that I put it. So I'm going to put it right down to about 10. But you can really see how that can light up an area. Okay, so we're going to turn that up. I'll just show you the back of it. Not sure if you can see, guys, but you can see that's where the number is. There, where it's green. So I can adjust this nozzle and turn the light up accordingly. And there you go. So right, I think that will be it for our LED tutorial. And I'm just going to pack that to open the price. Oh. Put that light on there for now. Alright, crack guys. So that was that, yeah. And then I'm just going to kind of pack up our LED light there and kind of leave it there. Oh, so I hope that was of some use to you guys. Let's have a look, see if we've got any action in the chat now. So yeah, diffuser light or softbox lighting, could call it either that. So that's our LED. So if you are wanting to pick up some kind of LEDs or even some like a softbox, they're relatively cheap and they're definitely quite useful. But obviously one step at a time. The one last thing I wanted to show you guys today was this. Anyone got any idea what that is? You might be thinking, well, it's just an umbrella, but I think it's a little bit more than that. So see, while I'm packing this away, if anybody can give me a shout and say, I know what that is, then let me know. So I'll give you guys just a minute to think while I'm packing this away, and just let me know. Alright guys. Cool, so obviously make sure it's turned off. Turned it off there. That is essential. A lot of times people leave lights on, and you know, you could end up doing someone some damage if you leave them on. It's definitely something to be careful about. Don't want to end up electrocuting someone, you know. Alright, so let's see. I'll have a look in the chat, see if anyone knows what that was. Reflector. Brilliant. It is, yeah. So, yeah, it's like a reflector umbrella. So, you can set this up. So, if you look on the inside, we talked about bounce boards and how bounce boards usually have that on the inside. Obviously, if you have your light, you can reflect the light off that. You could use it even as a bounce board, kind of. And obviously, tinfoil, or not tinfoil, like that kind of silver, will reflect the light. So if you have the light going against that, it is going to reflect back onto your subject. So yeah, it is a reflector. So good job, Lee. It looks like an umbrella, but it is a little bit more than that. And I think these are quite cheap, these reflectors as well. But you probably need some lights first. I would maybe recommend getting a bounce board, as we spoke about last week. But once again, bounce boards are only really useful when it's sunny. So if you don't really have much light, then you might struggle a bit with one of those as well. But yeah, that's a little introduction into some of our kit, guys. I hope that was helpful. Once again, as I said, hopefully, if we could get like if we could get a what you call it set up, if we could get like an advanced photography class or even the videography class, we could do like a workshop with some of these techniques, and I think that would be really useful to you guys. So yeah, I've got sorry, getting a bit close to camera. The actual box for the wide angle lens there that we were looking at. So as you can see, the wide angle lens that we have is this one here. It's the Lumix G 20mm 1.7 f-stop, and there you go. And that is quite a handy lens, but make sure that you don't get a scratch on it like what we did, because that can be an absolute nightmare. So something you want to look out for, guys. But yeah, that is pretty much the most essential part of our kit. Don't think I really left too much out there in terms of the stuff that pertains to photography. But yeah, stuff to look into. Obviously, probably don't expect to have you guys to have any of this kit, but maybe at some point, you know what I mean? If you you ever thinking about going into this field as like a career or something like that, it's definitely good to have an understanding of these things, because it's likely, like me, if you did end up working in this field, that you're going to be using the company's kit. You wouldn't be using your own kit at that point, or you might be if you were freelance, but you might even be able to rent kit. So if you became a full-time photographer, you can also, there's an option to rent kit sometimes, and all of these things are stuff that you will need to know eventually. If you're at the complete beginner level, I wouldn't worry too much about LED lights and softboxes and so on. But if it's something that's good to be aware of it existing, and the stuff that it can do and how it can help your image as well. And especially in the sense that if you take a picture of something and you think, why doesn't my picture look like a professional picture when I'm doing everything right? Having an understanding that these tools exist, and it's probably because they are being used as well, I think that definitely helps. So there is that to bear in mind. So guys, we're just kind of packing away now, but we are coming towards the end of our photography lesson. This will be the last session, guys. Make sure that you do the survey. The link is in the bottom there. And let's have a little look, guys. Okay, I'm going to double check on the chat. To diffuse light, that's right, exactly right. So it's a reflector, and yeah, it kind of diffuses light, but it also it'll reflect the light more than anything, because that kind of material, like that foil and stuff like that aluminium kind of look, will reflect light. So that's what it's usually used for. It's kind of why when you see people who've been like running on a marathon or something, they'll put that like foil over them, that silver foil, because it draws the light and it keeps them warm. You see what I'm saying? So yeah, that's something to kind of bear in mind there, guys. Okay, cool. So yeah, we're about done there, guys. Thank you all for being on the photography course. I think everyone's done absolutely awesome, and you guys have been fantastic. Thoroughly enjoyed having you guys on the course, and I've really enjoyed teaching it. And it was so good to be able to get out and actually do a bit of filming out and about, bit of shooting out and about, because I know we didn't really get the chance to do that beforehand. So it was good to kind of actually get out, post lockdown. And I think that everybody who has been on the course, I can genuinely say, sincerely, that everyone who's been on the course has improved their photography, definitely, without a shadow of a doubt. So, good job, guys, and yeah, let us know. Hit us up, let us know, email us, let us know on Facebook if you enjoyed it, and if you want to see another course, we'll be rolling out ideas for other courses. So just if you register your interest, you just say, yeah, I am interested in that, then it can give us an idea of where to put them on or not. And yeah, so we may be doing an advanced course, maybe doing the video course as well. So those are things to look out for, guys. But in the meantime, I'm sure we've got a bunch of courses coming up as well to keep you guys busy. So got plenty to do. But once again, guys, I think that is about it. No problem, Lee, mate. You really enjoyed the course. Awesome, yeah, and it's good to hear as well. Yeah, I had a really good time teaching it. It was good fun. So yeah, it's good content, and I mean, I really enjoyed photography too, so it was good. But yeah, unless anyone's got any questions, I think that is about time, guys. Unless anyone's got anything they want to ask just before we wrap up. But if not, then yeah, thank you very much, guys. Make sure that you do the survey, obviously, and then I think we're good. I'm about happy with that. But yeah, I mean, just want to say, guys, before I go, I was really impressed with everyone's pictures that they sent in today. Really impressed. Like, I was like very very happy. You know, you guys impressed me a lot with some of the stuff you did. Just to see that the editing and the for the the composition, just everything, all the elements. I think you guys have done some really great stuff. So you should all be proud of yourself. And yeah, I think that's about it. Okay, cool guys. Thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of your day and have a good weekend. So bye bye.